Welcome to the Woodward Sports Detroit Lions pregame show here on woodwardsports.com, brought to you by Swiss Insurance. The Detroit Lions take on the Minnesota Vikings today, December 11th, and I'm joined, as usual, my guy Tom Mazawey, Ermanni, and Edwards with Maz weekdays.
Hey, Jeff. Good morning, man.
Good morning. Happy to have you here. And in the chair, Booner from Booner Sports, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy we go to for all our betting questions. And in the booth, Sam Flannel, Big D Energy. He does a lot of stuff here. I can't wait to get his thoughts on a lot of these things today.
He's the legend killer.
He is the legend killer. He went face-to-face, toe-to-toe with Lindsey Hunter this week on his Ben Wallace take.
And we got Kareem.
And we have Kareem in the booth.
Who's ready to graduate?
U of M, baby. Down. Yes, he is. Graduating soon.
Go blue.
Go blue. And guys, game today, Detroit Lions welcome in the Minnesota Vikings. For the first time in NFL history, in the Super Bowl era at least, a 5-win team is favored over a 10-win team. Division leader in the Minnesota Vikings. Maz, you excited for today?
You know I am. I don't know what it is about this, our division. I always loved the Lions division, the black and blue division, even when Tampa Bay was in it back in the day. It's great. I love playing against the Vikings, even though they absolutely own the Lions in the all-time series. They literally double their wins.
Yeah, speaking of that, Vikings lead the all-time series 80-40.
That's amazing.
And then there's two ties in there as well. And earlier, as all Lions fans know, Minnesota beat the Detroit Lions 28-24 back in Week 3. The Vikings beat the Lions 8 straight between 2017 and 2021.
And this is a new era now.
New era. It's not the same old Lions, as I'm being told. But earlier in the year, I mean, watching that game, Lions were in complete control on the road.
Big time.
You lose Tracy Walker.
Coming off a win against Washington.
Coming off a big win,
yep.
A dominating win against Washington, at least in the first half. And you hold Justin Jefferson to 14 yards. Which, again, his career low on the season. It was a big deal. Lions were in complete control. A couple decisions you don't necessarily agree with. You go into a timeout, come out of a timeout, and KJ Osborne burns you for essentially the game-winning touchdown. But we all know that one got away. It did, Booner. I mean, you look at earlier in the season, they were the better team that day. I know, especially on the ground, too. I mean, Dalvin Cook went for basically 100 yards, but then you had Jamal go for basically 100 yards. The offense, it was an upsetting game. I mean, they should have won that game, and now you get revenge now at home later in the season, and they're riding this momentum, right? The Lions have won 4 out of the last 5. They just got off a complete domination over the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that honestly I thought it was pretty good. It was a pretty good matchup. I thought it was going to be a good game, but no, Lions were in complete control, absolutely decimate the Jaguars, and that's why they're favored this week, Maz.
No doubt, man. Vikings, we own one. There's no doubt about it. When you look back at this year, you're going to pick a few games out, and that Viking game was the first. It could have went 2-1 to start the season. And let's face it, they should have a winning record at this point. Dan Campbell did not make the best decisions in a lot of those games, but this is a new regime. Since they let Aubrey Pleasant go, the defense has gone from 32nd to 19 now. I mean, they are just moving up the charts. And credit to them, credit to Dan Campbell, making a tough decision. But this is a team that you really don't want to play right now. And the NFL is starting to take notice of it. To have a team like this, the Lions, favored over a team, Minnesota, that doesn't lose close games.
Right.
They have won all their close games. They know how to win a close game. They've lost 2 games this year. One to Dallas, one to Philly. They kind of got blown out in both of them. So if you want to beat this team, I think you got to get out early, Boone, and put the hammer down on this team early.
Yeah, it was like in Minnesota. We got out early. We had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. I think we all talked about it going into that last Minnesota game is the Vikings were putting out a better team talent-wise than us, and we all kind of knew that. But Dan Campbell and those guys, they came out ready to go in Minnesota. That's kind of what I expect today is, and the fact that they're favorites too. As a gambling guy, on Monday when I looked at the line and I saw they were favored, I was shocked.
Yeah.
And I think everyone in the world was shocked to see a 10-2 team underdogs versus the Lions, and that makes you like, there's something going on here with Detroit.
Knows,
yes, 100%.
Right. It's real. And not only that, the spread jumped up by half a point today.
It did. It's been moving. So that's where you start looking at it and you're like, this Lions team is serious. And when we were in Minnesota last time we went out there, it's the same exact thing there as well. And from that Minnesota game was, these guys compete. Who cares about who's on the roster if the Vikings have better weapons, and then they probably don't at this point now all around.
Yeah.
But that was what it was. The kind of name of the game was in the first game, and they came out and punched the Vikings in the mouth. And I expect the same thing today. To be honest,
and a big reason too.
Finish this time.
Yep.
When you talk about the Lions, and you talk about how well their defense has been playing over the stretch of games, that's a big reason why, right? Earlier in the year, defense was struggling. Offense looked really just as good as they do now. And Sam, I want to go to you because, again, you lose Tracy Walker. Juju Hughes gets beat by KJ Osborne. Later in the season, you fire Aubrey Pleasant. The secondary's played better. But on the flip side, Minnesota Vikings, their secondary is the last, right now currently last in the NFL. They give up, per game, 283 yards.
I mean, that's the thing. The Vikings are... It's actually a lot easier to see why the Lions are favored than you think. The Vikings, to me, are one of the most fraudulent 10-2 teams I've ever seen. They've won nine one-score games, and there are 5...
That's pretty good, Sam.
That is very, very good, but you know what that also leads to? There are 5 teams in the NFL who have 9 wins or more. The Buffalo Bills plus minus is plus 124, the Chiefs plus 80, the Eagles plus 112, the Cowboys plus 127, and the Vikings a whopping plus 10. They also got blown the hell out on their home field by the Cowboys. I'm just saying, this Vikings team has gotten a lot of luck, played good situational football as well, but I fully expect the Lions to at least give a good fight in this game. I'll say my prediction for later, but to me, this is very, very easy to see why the Lions are favored. And also, we go back to that first game. The Lions absolutely let one slip away. I think we all agree with that. They had a 14-0 lead, a 24-14 fourth quarter lead with the ball. They held Justin Jefferson to 3 catches for 14 yards, completely shutting him down when we all thought it was impossible, and they lost. Just imagine, and I know the Lions have kind of, ridden the ship. They're 5-7 now after starting out 1-6. But imagine if they wouldn't have put themselves in such a hole. And if they win that game at Minnesota, I think this whole season could have turned out differently, and they might have a winning record right now.
And Sam, Chuck Brewer, WoodwardSports.com asked Sam, who's better, Ben Wallace or the Vikings?
Damn, no. Ask me after the game.
Okay, all right, we'll get back to it later. But
to Sam's point too, that Vikings lost. That just started a whole 5 games to where we had to completely claw back, and that's where I'm not worried, but we've turned things around now, and we're right back to where we were after that 5-game streak where we lost. I'm nervous. This is a kind of a restart of the season at that Vikings point. It's like deja vu. Like, we're sitting there now and we're like, all right, we're back to where we were 6 weeks ago.
Yep.
With 5 games after this, or 4 games remaining. What are you going to do with it?
And it could easily be a 5-game winning streak as well. I mean, they piddle that game away against the Bills on Thanksgiving Day too. Another mismanage of the clock. But here we are today. All right, so enough of talking back about the old days, right? This is going forward.
Yes.
After this game, you're at the Jets. Dan Orlovsky went on ESPN this week on Get Up in the Morning, and he said, Lions win today against the Vikings, and if they beat the Jets, this team is going to the playoffs. That's from Dan Orlovsky. You know, he's a big cheerleader for this team, and he's our national guy that puts us on the map and talks about us. But it feels good to be a Lion fan now, don't it?
No,
Don't
it does.
feel good?
Absolutely. And you look at the quarterback play, which I think is a big reason why they've been winning so lately, 4 out of the last 5. You look at Jared Goff over his last 5 games, he has 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. And that was kind of the opposite earlier in the year, right, Sam? I mean, you look at his first 7 games, I believe he had 6 interceptions. I mean, a lot of those were pick sixes taken back to the end zone, which, again, you look at games that were so close. Yes, defensively, that was the issue, but Jared Goff's his turnovers did not help that. I mean, everyone brings up the stats since 2019, Jared Goff, which actually isn't the case anymore. Matt Ryan actually has the most turnovers since 2019, but that's been the narrative. Jared Goff and turnovers, he hasn't been turning the ball over.
No, he hasn't been fumbling the ball.
Or fumbling
Remember
the ball.
Last year how much
he's been clean.
Oh, he's got small hands. He's got, he's always fumbling. Did he maybe he fumbled once this year?
No,
and I can remember.
And he said it himself. I'm playing the best football, at least in Jared's opinion, I've played my whole career.
I'll tell you what, he's not far off. And Maz, to your point, I can't remember the last time he fumbled.
Yeah.
And that was a big problem with him last year.
I don't want to jinx him, by the way.
Right. Knock on wood. But yeah, Jared Goff is playing some of the best football of his career right now. And guess what the Vikings are not very good at on defense? They have the worst statistical pass defense in the NFL. And you saw what that Lions pass offense did last week. Amon-Ra St. Brown just shredded Jacksonville. Yeah. DJ Chark, welcome to the season. He had his best game as a Lion. Like what we expected him to do. And Jamison Williams, he's coming along. Last week, he was a little bit more of a decoy. He had to get his rookie legs under him. Imagine if this is the game where he really breaks out and makes a play or two, becomes a bigger part of this offense. This pass offense, I don't know. I can't believe I'm saying it. It could be one of the best in the league as the year goes along.
It is.
I mean, it is. They're playing damn good football. And
it's one of the best offenses in the league, period. It really is.
Sixth in scoring. And now that the defense is playing better, I mean, look out. This is a team that is on the rise. It's an exciting time to be a Lions fan.
And on top of that, they have a kicker, which they can finally trust. And they not only that,
Special Teams Player of the Week, Michael Badgley.
Which is huge considering where they were early in the season. You couldn't find a kicker. I mean, you mix that with how bad your defense was historically. It put Dan in a lot of these situations where he felt like he needed to go for it. He couldn't just settle for field goals, which, again, whether you agree or disagree, now you've seen him over the last 5 games with a defense that has been getting stops, has been playing better, a kicker that can actually kick field goals. Now you're seeing him kind of back away from some of those aggressive decisions. And I got to give Dan a ton of credit because as much as we talk about players getting better, Dan's also gotten better. And again, it's not ideal that your coach is learning on the job, but he's getting better. And I think that's all you can ask for a guy now in his second year, right, Booner?
Yeah, and I'm interested to see him today, the decisions that are made depending on the situation, especially this Vikings team. How many one-possession games have they been in throughout the whole season? That's like the whole thing with the Vikings is they're 10-2, but they've been in, and people say they got lucky. It's going to end up potentially be a one-possession game today, and this was the game earlier in the year that Dan Campbell got the most criticism from.
Right.
So I'm interested to see 2 minutes left in the game, one possession. What does Dan Campbell do? Mm-hmm. We have a kicker now who can make a field goal. We know we could trust. He has options. I'm very interested to see if it's a field goal game, if it's a one-touchdown game. Is Dan Campbell going to redeem himself from the game in Minnesota? I'm interested to see it because this Vikings team they know how to win down the stretch. That's why they're 10-2. Like in the NFL, it's all close games.
Yes,
they've just learned how to win those close games. Unlike teams like the Chargers or other teams around the league who have good teams, they just can't finish.
Like the Lions.
The Lions,
they struggled for a long time.
The Jets.
The Jets as well. And that's something, Booner, I'm glad you brought that up because I think people look at it like they're winning close games. Well, they're not good. Well, I think that's partially true, but the other part of it is they're well coached. They're finding ways to win late in games. I think
first-year head coach again, and Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, he's head coach of the year candidate. I mean, he really is. And on top of that, the only big win the Vikings have had, at least decisively, was week 1 against the Packers. They won like 23-7. So again, we're going to find out a lot about both of these teams, and Jared Goff has a lot to do with that, how well he's been playing and this defense. But we're going to go to break. When we get back, we're going to talk about the challenges the Detroit Lions face against the Minnesota Vikings. But until then, this is the Woodward Sports Detroit Lions pregame show brought to you by Swiss Insurance. See you in a sec.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1.
Let's go,
What's
baby.
your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam.
I probably should have got my headphones. I forgot Sam is
Join
talking.
Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get
I'm like barely hearing them through the glass.
You need headphones?
I got them in the back.
Step 3.
Man.
Bask in that post-workout glow.
You want to do a shout-out for our guy?
Yeah,
We'll come back.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Are we doing stick here?
You want to go out of break?
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without
great
great community
about
partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's
Will
an
they
awesome
stretch and
opportunity
go
to
on?
partner with your
Yeah.
organization.
Yeah.
Higuera
Don't
Health
worry
is
about
a
Sam. I'm
comprehensive
listening
behavioral
intently to you.
health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We are live at the Brass Rail inside the Cuervo Zone. The Lions are taking on the Vikings today. I got my ugly Christmas sweater on for the Lions. Roman Bruno walked in with this Calvin Johnson thing of beauty. Look at that. CJ coming through. Roman, what are you thinking about today's game? Can the Lions pull it off?
Oh, definitely. This is definitely our game of this season. We haven't had this much energy around a game in many years, so I'm excited to see what we can do. If we get this win, it catapults us even further.
Yeah, people are here drinking early. The bar's already packed. It was packed at 9 a.m. This is a playoff atmosphere.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's the closest thing that we're going to get to a playoff game at Ford Field, so hopefully we can pull it off.
You're a fantasy football guy in this game. Who are you looking for on each side?
Obviously on the Lions, you got to start Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jamal Williams is a goal line bruiser. Swift is startable this week. I think he's getting closer to his old self, coming off of some injuries. On the Vikings side, I think Hawkinson, you got to look out for him in a revenge game. I think they're going to target him early and often, and then obviously Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, you got to start those guys too.
All right, so a lot of points to be had in this game on both sides of the ball, right?
Absolutely. It's going to be a slugfest on offense and for fantasy. There's a lot of guys you can start.
What's your final score prediction, man?
32-26 Lions.
32-26 Lions? They gonna blow it out early, or how's it gonna happen? Give me the Swami.
I think it's gonna go down to the final drive. I think I wouldn't be surprised if it would come down for a final touchdown by Lions.
Hell yeah. Well, let's do it. We are live downtown Detroit, the Brass Rail, Cuervo Zone. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Stick. We're back here, Woodward Sports, Detroit Lions pregame show on the Woodward Sports Network.
How about those sweaters?
By Swiss Insurance.
Great
The sweaters are beautiful. By the way, look at Maz's hoodie. You can get these hoodies on woodwardsports.com and the shop. Look at Booner rocking the Woodward football as well. But we got a lot to talk about. And Stick and Roman kind of covered that. Shout out to those guys. Go down to Brass Rail if you're downtown right now. Go to the Cuervo Zone. Stick's interviewing everybody, and they're having a party over there. But
we got our own party here too. We got our man.
Look at
Morris is here from downtown at Eastern Market. They call him the man down there. The man. Why don't you show yourself right behind there, Boone, Loris? Get behind Boone. Say hi to everybody. Duck down a little. Say hi. Look, this guy pedaled his way up to see us from Eastern Market. You could see him downtown all the time playing some great music, and we'll be playing some music for you coming up here in just a bit. We got our own tailgate going here at Woodward
Sports. That's what you got to do, Maz. I mean, we'll make our own party here, tailgate here at Woodward Sports down in Birmingham. But I do want to go to you guys and ask the question, the challenges the Detroit Lions face against the Vikings. And I'll start first. The difference, I believe,
you're gonna take all our good stuff then if you start first.
Well, I'll throw you an alley-oop. How about this?
I'm kidding.
I'll throw you an alley-oop. So Justin Jefferson, a guy who had 14 yards, I think we can all safely say it's probably not happening again. I think we can all say that. It's hard.
Jeff Okudah thinks it might happen.
Okay, and that's great. Yeah? I love the confidence Jeff Okudah has, but Maz, how much of a threat? I mean, what are we dealing with here? This is, in my opinion, the best receiver in the NFL.
He is. He's the best. And you saw what he did against the Buffalo Bills that game. He made the catch.
My goodness.
Of I don't know, of the last 50 years. I think it's the best catch I've ever seen.
I think OBJ's is a little better.
I would put Justin Jefferson's above.
Okay.
Justin Jefferson's at that time with 3 Buffalo Bills pulling him down. Now, David Tyree's catch was amazing, and it was a Super Bowl. So I'm not going to put it above that yet, but amazing guy, amazing catch. But when you stop Justin Jefferson, you kind of hold this Minnesota offense in check. It makes you go to Dalvin Cook and check down to KJ Osborne. But they have a new guy this week. His name is TJ Hawkinson. What I mean by new is, obviously, he played on our side of the ball the last time we played the Minnesota Vikings. I really believe that they're going to target him a lot this game. But as far as Jeff Okudah goes, the guy is playing lights out. Mm-hmm. He's playing like a monster, a man possessed. This guy comes back from the terrible injury from the Achilles last year and forces his way on the field. And what did we all say? Oh, he's a bust. He's this. He's that. Maybe we can get something out of him. You're getting way more than something.
No question.
Out of this guy, and he is, to me, he is the captain of that defense. Jeff Okudah is making himself known. We got Aiden Hutchinson. We got John Kaminsky. Josh Pascal. Hopefully, will show. We got Malcolm Rodriguez. Listen, man. I just named 4 defensive guys all of a sudden that in the beginning of the year we were like, can you name one defensive guy on the Lions that you could be happy about? So I don't know. I think you could stop Justin Jefferson today again, But I would watch out for T.J. Hawkinson today to get
Absolutely.
to get some action.
And Irv Smith found his way into the end zone in the first game as well. So I know TJ, especially with the narrative he's coming into Ford Field with, they're going to want to get him involved. Now, I don't think they're going to deviate from their game plan to get him involved, but you have Justin Jefferson, you have Adam Thielen. He's going to have those underneath opportunities. I mean, TJ's going to eat. I think we can all accept that, at least in my opinion. I know they're going to throw Malcolm at him. They're going to throw Kirby at him, but still, there's something. He's playing with a different type of motivation. But to your point about the secondary, you look at how Jeff Okudah early in the year, the best secondary player, and I'll come out and say this, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I said Ermanni Awarie is the most underrated player on defense. That was before the season, coming off the season he had. Yes, you can laugh at it all you want.
No, I'm not laughing.
And he's been a disaster all season. I mean, he really has. And the fact that
I wouldn't call him a disaster.
Well, he's played poorly.
He had a terrible.
He's played very poorly. I'll say that. Very, very poorly from what we expect usually out of Ermanni. But when you have Jeff Okudah coming off an Achilles, like you said, to be stepped into that position to be your number one corner, coming off an Achilles, missing as many games as he did, I think he's handled it tremendously. I mean, you can't ask more out of Jeff than what he's doing right now. Asking him to be a top 10 corner coming off an Achilles is a tough thing to do. Yep. But if you could just be a serviceable starter in what he's done all season, I think he's been one of the more consistent players and really a bright spot in the secondary. A secondary that hasn't been very good.
He picked number one.
Number one,
for a reason.
Number one.
Yeah, I'm interested, too, to see, our defensive line, if they can get after Kirk Cousins, which the last couple weeks they've been really well, I think that'll help him out as well, especially with the matchup like Justin Jefferson. And then we noticed, like, the first game, too, Justin Jefferson struggled a little bit, but KJ Osborne had the best game of his season. And there's Adam Thielen. So there's other guys there. I'm really interested, though, to see if we can get to Kirk Cousins, put pressure on him, especially in this matchup with Justin Jefferson here today.
Yeah.
And Okudah. And
Sam, I want to ask you, man, like you look at Justin Jefferson, the game he had against the Lions, I think you can probably agree with me. I don't know if it'll happen twice. So what are your expectations for for Justin Jefferson in this Lions secondary?
I mean, I think Justin Jefferson might get his. But that's the thing. He always gets his no matter what. That's why he's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. I don't want for Dalvin Cook to kill us, for Adam Thielen to kill us, for T.J. Hawkinson to kill us. And I know last time the Lions completely shut down Justin Jefferson. I don't think that's going to happen again. And I think that's one of the keys is to just not let anybody else but Justin Jefferson beat you. And I know that Jeff Okudah did a great job on him last time. He was very, very instrumental in helping shut down Justin Jefferson. He was the main reason why they did shut down Justin Jefferson. But you can't expect that from him again. What we just need is the defense, which is playing better than it has all year, to step up and just do a good job containing everybody else. And hey, maybe they can slow down Justin Jefferson a little bit. Maybe have him get like 65 to 70 yards and no touchdowns. I think that's very, very possible. They've shown they could shut him completely down. But honestly, this time, just don't let that offense go off on the Lions defense.
Yeah, you're gonna, like they did in the first game, have safety help. I mean, this isn't nothing about ego. I mean, Jeff doesn't have to single-handedly shut down Justin Jefferson. It's not going to happen. Like you're going to need safety help for guys like that, like Justin Jefferson. But
you can't let him just wander out there. You got to put pressure on Kirk Cousins, and you get Romeo Okwara back today.
And great, I'm glad you brought that up. Romeo Okwara will be activated. I'm curious to see how many snaps he plays out there, but no doubt he's going to be available. To me, and I'll tell you the biggest thing the Detroit Lions face, their biggest challenge, and what I want them to do first defensively is Dalvin Cook. I think if you can limit the run game, because Kirk is similar to Jared Goff in which they're comfortable in play action. If you can at least slow down the run game, they don't have Christian Darrisaw today. He's out. He's ruled out. So they're hurting on their offensive line. If you can slow down Dalvin Cook, force Kirk Cousins into these passing sets, allow guys like James Houston, Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Pascal to get home and just strictly chase the quarterback, you're going to have much more of an easier time. Because look at this defense. You talk about how well they've been playing. They create turnovers. Yeah. That's been the one thing you could talk about is this defense has finally been able to create turnovers. And Kirk Cousins, over his last 4 games, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
And look what they did opening drive last week against the Jags.
Oh, ripped it.
Forced fumble right off the get-go. That's the game, man. You take that ball from the team that's receiving the kick, and you score. That's how you win a game. That's how you start. Now they just have to learn how to finish this game. You know you could beat this team. You could play with this team. You're favored. Is it an upset if they win? If you look at Lions Vikings and the Lions win, what's the first word out of a sportscaster's mouth? Lions upset the Vikings today.
Right.
But in reality, they're favored.
Yeah. And usually, if you're not a heavy bettor, you won't know that. I mean, a 10-2 team, you're like, wow, the Lions upset them. No, actually, they're favored at home, which, again, I still can't believe, but it makes sense how well the Lions have been playing. But another challenge I believe the Detroit Lions face, and this is another thing that I think the Minnesota Vikings do really well, is they're not the greatest against the run, but their pass defense is so significantly worse than their run defense. So I'm going to be watching the battle up front in the trenches, because the Lions have been moving guys around. I mean, even going back to their win in New York, completely pushed the Giants around.
They sure did.
That's kind of been the staple for the Detroit Lions. And you have Smith, you have Hunter. I mean, you have guys that can get after the quarterback. So I am curious to see how they run the football.
And Patrick Peterson in the backfield,
who he calls himself the closer.
Yeah,
because he's closing.
He's having a great year.
He really is, and he's closing a lot of these games for the Vikings.
Yeah, and I mean, just thinking about, I know you said you want to shut down Dalvin Cook. The last elite running back we went up against with the Giants, Saquon Barkley, 15 carries and 22 yards.
You bet.
I mean, that was unbelievable. On
so
the road.
If they could, even if they do half of that versus Dalvin Cook today, I think that's a win for the Lions in the trenches there. If they give up 20 carries and 50 or 60 yards, that's better than him going out there and having 20 and 100.
You don't want to see him break one for 80.
Right.
No. That's what he's known for.
Right.
He breaks one. Remember Barry Sanders used to do that? Well, he did that to everybody, but he would always break the Vikings' hearts or Tampa Bay's hearts with a big run. You don't want Dalvin Cook to get you for one big one.
Right.
If he's gonna beat you, let him beat you with 20, 25 carries.
Absolutely. A little 3.5 yards per carry. Yep. I mean, you want him to milk it. Again.
By the way, Saquon Barkley might not play today in case we'll get to that. But in case you fantasy football players out there, how do they have 6 teams on a bye? By the way, this week, don't they give a damn about fantasy football?
Unbelievable.
They pump it up.
Right,
it's number one. It's in your face. Then they sit 6 teams.
Half of your rosters on a bye.
Right before the playoffs.
We'll get to that later.
I
had the vent.
No, it's
6 freaking teams.
No, it's definitely frustrating. And speaking of the injury report, which you alluded to, we're going to be talking about that next segment. I want to get into the injury report around the NFL with Detroit, with Minnesota, and kind of give you guys the update on that. But we're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll be discussing all of this. This is the Detroit Lions pregame show here on the Woodward Sports Network, brought to you by Swiss Insurance. See you in a bit.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Truthfully, I really think he's playing like a top 5, top 10 receiver in this league right now. That level of toughness, the hands, the breaks. I mean, it's a complete package, and boy, are we happy to have him.
We're back here, Woodward Sports Network, Detroit Lions pregame show, and you heard it from Ben Johnson. He believes Amon-Ra St. Brown is a top 10, dare he say top 5 receiver, and he's playing like it. I mean,
you ever see a happier guy than Ben Johnson? The guy's always smiling.
I love that man. Yeah. I think if I had to pick a man crush, it's definitely Ben Johnson.
It's like he's got 3 aces in the hole, and there's an ace there waiting for him to take. I mean, it looks like he's the cat that swallowed the mouse.
Man. Yeah, he's just filled with positivity. I don't think I've ever seen him upset. And again, players love him. Jared Goff clearly loves him.
That's because he knows what he's got.
Oh, absolutely.
He's got weapons on this team.
And for that statement, I do want to talk about it. And real quickly, Detroit Lions, Ford Field sold out completely. I mean, it's 65,000 you said?
Yeah, standing room only today. 65,000. They're going to break, Who knows? They might break that record back from 2011. We'll see. Stay tuned.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
From what we wanted at the beginning of the year, just to play in a game, like a playoff atmosphere, and now today we're sitting here talking about that, especially starting 1-5, 1-6, or whatever it was. It's unbelievable.
Only in Detroit can a 5-7 football team invoke playoff. That shows you how starving that we are here in town. We have a 5-win team, and this is a playoff game to the Lions, and it is a playoff game. You have to win this game if you want to even think about playing later on in the year.
Yeah, these are games that you want to be in, for Dan Campbell especially. I mean, I think most people can say they're at least satisfied with what they've seen for the most part out of Dan Campbell and what he's been able to do and get out of these players. This is a big test for him. I mean, a playoff atmosphere, sold out, at home, late in the season. You're playing for something. You're facing your division leader, a team that we think we will compete with, the Detroit Lions will compete with next year for the NFC North. But to talk about the injury report, Jameson Williams, I mean, he played limited snaps last week. I mean, it seems like he was kind of just a dummy man out there, just kind of using him in the run game.
They just wanted to get
his legs under him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on this before we get to the injury report. I know there's been talk about him being used as the gunner in special teams.
Please no.
Please.
Please no.
Please no. For a guy who's coming off an ACL injury, I know because players are going to tell you one thing, Maz. You got to protect your.
Of course.
You got to protect your players.
If they want to play.
Absolutely. I mean, Dave Phipps, he talked about it. He's like, well, I went to Jameson and he told me I want to play on special teams.
Yeah.
And if I'm Dave Phipps, I say, oh, that's nice, but no, you're not doing it. Sorry, we got to protect you. I mean,
I want to go out with Kate Upton, but you know, she's not going to go out with me.
See, great analogy, Maz. But no, Jameson will be playing. I'm curious. He's going to get more snaps. He's probably going to be playing 15-20% more snaps than he did last week.
Little by little, man.
Hopefully,
little by little.
We'll see him involved, especially you see that pass Jared Goff hit to DJ Chark.
Yeah.
That could have been Jameson. So we'll see how that works
okay.
out.
I'm glad it's Chark.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We want to get something out of that $10 million that they gave him.
And
I want to see the guy. That guy could play. He just needs his confidence. He has to stay healthy.
Yes.
You know, it's excellent to have DJ Chark in the lineup. Josh Reynolds as well.
Yeah, no question about it. And Kareem, do you have the injury report? All right, we're going to pull this up for you. This is the Detroit Lions injury report this week against the Vikings. There you go, inactives. Coyote is out, who was actually filled in at guard for the last couple weeks. He's played well. Derek Barnes is out. Brockers, he's been really inactive. Evan Brown, Austin Bryant. Will Harris is out, who actually had a pretty good game last week as well. And then Tom Kennedy.
My guy.
The fan favorite, Sam Flannel's favorite. I know you do. I know you love him a lot, Sam. Don't even lie about that. But honestly, some significant players. I mean, Derek Barnes, that's a guy that honestly – you're going to have Malcolm, you're going to have Alex Anzalone, but I've loved what I've seen out of Derek Barnes lately. But I want your thoughts on it first, Maz, and then we'll go around the room.
Yep.
Thoughts on the inactive list, anything significant stand out to you?
I think Derek Barnes sticks out a little bit to me. I mean, he's starting to play a little bit better this year, especially in the second half of the season. I was hoping that he would be playing, but you kind of saw all week that he wasn't going to be, and then no practice on Friday. Basically ruled him out on Friday. So nothing more other than that. And Tom Kennedy's out. That's good news because that means Jameson Williams is in. Okay, and I got the Vikings inactives, and they don't have Harrison Smith.
They don't.
Second time.
Harrison Smith.
He was out the first game as well.
Inactive. Couple like you saw, Christian Darrisaw, their tackle. Other than that, nothing special. But
those
Harrison
are two
Smith,
significant players.
That's a big
You're missing. The Vikings are essentially missing your best secondary player in an already bad secondary, and your best offensive lineman. So again, something to look forward to, Booner.
Yeah, I mean, especially this defense hasn't been great. I mean, we've been talking about it all week. This Vikings defense has been struggling. So without him, I think it's something we could take advantage of. I mean, like you said, Jeff, Will Harris, he's been playing well.
Especially after that Bills ending where he gave up a huge play to Stephon Diggs.
So him being out, I mean, that could potentially, especially with a pretty good receiving core there with Minnesota. Right. And then Derek Barnes, obviously, he's been playing well as well, too. So that's going to be a little loss. But, I mean, that's probably it. I don't think it's anything significant outside of those two guys.
Sam Flannel. What do you think, man? I know you're sad about Tom Kennedy.
Oh, but I thought that Tom Kennedy was Mr. Reliable. How did they score 40 points last week without Tom Kennedy? I was told that was impossible. But no, seriously, this is – honestly, when I look at this inactive list, I'm thinking that's not that bad. No, I mean, Derek Barnes, that's a big loss because he's another guy that we kind of I think we all kind of wrote off a little bit, and he's come on strong. But Alex Anzalone's been better than we thought he would be. Malcolm Rodriguez has been a bit of a revelation. I think they'll be just fine. Will Harris is another one. I mean, he's been better than maybe we expected, but I still don't really count on Will Harris to be a starting level cornerback. You got Jerry Jacobs, you got Jeff Okudah. Austin Bryant, you can use all the bodies up front that you can get. He's another one that they might miss a little bit, but this kind of speaks to, this is a pretty healthy team relatively. Yeah. This is about as healthy as they've been all year, and this inactives list, it shows it. I mean, the Vikings are missing more important pieces than the Lions are, which even goes further to why the Lions are favored and why we should expect the Lions to win this game.
No, I'm glad you brought that up, Sam, because you look at the NFL, players are going to get hurt. I mean, plenty of players are, but the thing about the Lions is they're getting healthier at the right time, and that's really been how they benefited. I mean, you're getting guys back like Romeo, Jameson. You're getting players back that you didn't have early in the year that missed some games. John Kaminsky's back. He's been making plays.
That's huge.
Josh Pascal. So they're getting healthy at the right time.
Yeah.
No, go on.
I was just saying, and I've talked about it multiple times on the show on Sunday. Is to start the year, we were the best, scoring the most points on offense. Our offense was healthy. We were looking great, and then that 5 or 6 week span, Swift goes down. Our receivers start going down. And I said it 4 weeks ago when we started this stretch. This team is starting to get healthy on offense. They're going to start putting points up again after that Patriots and Cowboys game, and they've started to do that. And today is the healthiest we've been all season since the beginning of the year. That's what I'm expecting now. Is we're on this 5-game stretch of a healthy offense. Obviously, the line is kind of beat up a little bit, but all of the weapons are there. Everyone's there. They should be able to put up points today with a healthy offense.
I hope DeAndre Swift can get going today. I mean, he's starting to. You could see him. He's starting to get that confidence back. He's starting to get that look again. Week. I like it.
Yeah,
I think sky's the limit for this guy. Just stay healthy, and he's a beast.
He really
is. If he's running and he is catching the ball, I think he's over 100 yards combined today, rushing and passing.
And on top of what he could do in the receiving game, I mean, what he does in the run game is something that makes him even more valuable. I mean, he's a complete wide receiver. He's not a burner, but still, I think people lose it when you're looking at guys like he's not some 6'3", 6'4" burner. He's smaller, but he's a possession receiver, but he's so efficient. He doesn't drop many balls. He's always open, even if he's the number one focal point every single week for opposing defenses. But Kareem, do you have the video of Jameson Williams talking about his first game? All right, let's play that real quick because I want you guys to hear this. Jameson Williams on playing this week against the Vikings.
As bad as I wanted to do more, I feel like it wasn't about that. It was about what they said, getting my feet under me and making sure everything was good, making sure the movements was well and everything was more frequent. So I wanted to be out there more, but as I said, it wasn't about that. We got a good win, so I feel like we did what we needed to do.
See, that's what I love about Jameson Williams, too, is because people always throw the word around diva wide receivers. He is the most he's just going with the flow.
He seems like a down-to-earth kid.
He loves football, and that seems like a common theme.
That's why he said, I'll play gunner. Yeah. I'll play. Put me on, man. Just get me on the field.
He just wants to get out there, and you can appreciate that.
Absolutely,
really
man. And remember when they drafted him, they're like, oh, look at this poor guy. He doesn't want to come to the Lions. Look how sad he looks. Look how depressed he is. You can't blame these guys, right? But that was just his personality. He's fighting through an injury.
Right.
He's a young man.
He's quiet.
He's young. Comes here, top 12 pick. Could have been the number 1 receiver picked off the board. We all know that. We all say that. I can't wait till you see the finished product. But just take it easy, little by little.
Yeah.
Let's see where it goes.
You got to ease your way into it, because I think we can all agree mutually, and people listening on WoodwardSports.com is you think Jameson eventually will be your number 1 wide receiver, and the number 1, number 2 thing is just tossed around. He'll be starting alongside Amon-Ra. I think we can all comfortably say that.
I think that's a pretty good 1-2 combo.
Oh, absolutely, okay. And they work so well off of each other. And what Jameson can do down the field, you have Amon-Ra in the intermediate to short passing game. Even he could take some shots downfield as well.
And I love Reynolds
great combination.
I think it's a very good, it's an excellent wide receiver core that this team has. That's only going to get better.
And they've won games since TJ was traded away. And again, it doesn't discount what TJ's been doing. He's still one of the better tight ends, but it just kind of shows you how valuable or invaluable sometimes tight ends are, especially with this offense. And they didn't utilize TJ, but they're certainly utilizing Amon-Ra St. Brown and hopefully Jameson Williams when he comes back.
Your head coach was a tight end. He knows the position, right? So you got to trust him on this. But between him and Brad Holmes, they probably looked at TJ and said, are we getting this contract out of him? Do you want to pay him again? Or do you want to go with this kid that we took out of Virginia Tech and James Mitchell? How about Brock Wright? Shane Zylstra, wearing Herman Moore's number 84. He likes that core. You know what? I said it the first week that Hard Knocks went on. And you saw Dan Campbell take Shane Zylstra on the side. And that made it on the video. It made it on the TV show. And I said to Ryan and Braylon, I'm like, this guy ain't getting cut. He likes this guy. And he loves the position that they're in. That's why they were able to deal T.J. Hawkinson. Would I rather them give him to someone other than the Vikings? Yes. Would I have rather maybe gotten another player or an extra pick out of it? Yes. But they did what they had to do. And guess what? It's worked. They're 4-1 since they dealt them.
Yeah, and kind of with the J-Mo thing, too, as well, is last week I was at Ford Field, shout out to Maz, and you could see J-Mo just sitting there every single play next to Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell. Like, he wanted to go in. He was ready to go. Like, this guy, he wants to be out there with this team, and he's ready to go. I cannot wait. And I saw someone put it in the chat here. I can't remember who it was, but they just said, let J-Mo cook. I cannot wait until, whether it's today, whether it's next week, until he just completely opens up and we can see what he really is. J-Mo with Amon-Ra is going to be one of the toughest duos in the league. Once he opens up and they really just let him go, it's going to be very, very scary for defenses to have those two guys on one side. Like, who do you guard? What do you do? So I cannot wait. I hope it happens today, and if it doesn't, next week.
What do you think Jared Goff is thinking? Do you remember when he got traded here? You go from the L.A. Rams, a Super Bowl team, to the Detroit Lions, one of the worst teams in sports, in NFL history. He came here to Birmingham, Michigan, walking around. He had a guard with him. He had a bodyguard with him. He didn't know what to expect. Walking around here, now all of a sudden, plays a year. Really didn't have anybody until they got Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds is really the only guy he kind of had any kind of rapport with. And now to this year, you see him hugging Ben Johnson, bear hugging him last week.
Right.
He's smiling ear to ear. Dave Burkett put out a great column today on Free Press. How Jared Goff, the Lions don't think that he is a bridge quarterback. Great column today. The Lions look at Jared Goff as their future quarterback. I want to know what you guys think about that. I'm just saying.
Well, you don't have to make that decision yet.
No, you don't. But it's coming.
It's coming. I think in 2024, you're going to.
If they win 9 games, you got to pay them.
Yes. And
I'm the guy that says go out and draft a guy. And I still want you to draft a quarterback. Somewhere in your draft, you must draft a quarterback to come up the ranks.
Right.
But the way Jared Goff is playing, last week he says, I'm playing the best football of my life. And then now Dave writes this column and says that the Lions aren't looking at this guy as a bridge quarterback. They're looking at him as their quarterback, the former number 1 pick, overall pick. I just want to get all 3 of you guys' opinion and the opinion of the people that are watching us on Woodward Sports.
So my thoughts on it are I'm good with Jared Goff until there's someone better, right? And that's all it is. That's as simple as that. I'm cool with Jared. Now, if you want to talk about him being paid $30 million, which quite frankly is actually at discount compared to what some of the better quarterbacks are making, I eventually want the Lions to draft a quarterback, and before people freak out, oh, stop disrespecting Jared Goff. It's not disrespecting Jared Goff. It's just being real. I mean, you look at the NFL and how valuable rookie contracts are, and you're getting a quarterback that performs way better than what they're being paid. For Jared to be paid what he's being paid, it kind of handicaps the Lions a little bit. But I can't be mad with how well Jared's been playing. I think everybody and every Lions fan could say, you know what, I'm satisfied with what I've been seeing out of Jared. He's a great quarterback for what the Lions are currently doing right now with their rebuild, and I'm going to let the future play out with that one. We'll see with the Lions. If you can't draft a quarterback or you're not in a position to draft one, yeah, you're keeping Jared. But if there's an opportunity and you feel like you can take somebody that you believe will be better, you're paying them at a discount price, then they're going to do that. That's what I believe. But Booner, what about you?
Kareem put out a survey. Yeah. It's out on woodwardsports.com. Do you feel Jared Goff is a bridge quarterback or is he the future quarterback? Let's get your votes, and we'll chat about it later. Go ahead, Boone.
I kind of agree with Jeff on this one, too. And the thing is, too, is we don't have to sit there and chase after a quarterback, and we're not going to have an opportunity probably with the pace going to get a Bryce Young this year.
Not with Baker Mayfield there.
No, yeah, Matt. But the thing is we're going to have Jared Goff next year, and we're going to know right away next season, because from what's happened so far this year, next year we're going to be expected to go to the playoffs and try and win a playoff game.
No doubt.
So if he doesn't go do that next year, if you get a quarterback in the late first round, second, third round this year, and he's behind Jared Goff, we're gonna know next year if it's time to move on or not. Like, you're gonna know if he goes to competes for a division, competes for a playoff win, then maybe you can take a look at that. But as of right now, to me, it's you can find a guy that's cheaper. Maybe you can find a guy in the draft and maybe put him behind Jared Goff to learn and just take a shot at someone. But future quarterback for 3 or 4 years down the line with the team that we have, the young guys we have, I just don't see it. Unless next year he goes out and wins you a playoff game and wins you a division, then maybe you can sit down and say, what can he do? What can we do? Can he take a pay cut and help us out?
Absolutely. And you could win with Jared. I think we can all agree with that. You can win a playoff game with Jared. I truly believe that. So
he's already done it.
And
not here, but he has
absolutely. But in Detroit, I mean, it's a different animal. But I do believe they can do it with Jared. What say you, Sam Flannel?
Yeah, this is a tough one because I'm not sure I'm ready to say that Jared Goff is definitely our Lions quarterback of the future. We don't have to make that decision right now. Brad Holmes doesn't have to make that decision right now, so that's that. But what Jared Goff has proven throughout his career is if you give him a good roster, you can make the Super Bowl with him as your quarterback. He's done it once. And what Brad Holmes has done in these last 2 drafts, I think, is give Jared Goff a lot of help, give them a lot of pieces that can eventually become a very good roster. I mean, he drafted him Amon-Ra St. Brown, who has become Jared Goff's favorite target. They're an absolutely lethal combination. Penei Sewell protecting Jared Goff. Guys like Aiden Hutchinson, Jamison Williams, a guy that we eventually think will be maybe their number 1 weapon, or at least a good combination with Amon-Ra St. Brown. So if the Lions and Brad Holmes continue to build this roster to make it even better, to maybe do something in free agency when they have more cap space, and Jared Goff continues to play well, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Jared Goff can be the quarterback of the future. It's great, though, that we can have this discussion because, remember last year, we would have never thought in a million years that Jared Goff would be our quarterback of the future when Anthony Lynn was the offensive coordinator. And even at the beginning of this season, they were 1-6. It wasn't Jared Goff's fault, but I think we all thought that the roster was nowhere near where it needed to be. But a lot of guys have stepped up. They've gotten healthier. And they are winning games, 4 out of their last 5, with Jared Goff playing the quarterback position, not turning the football over. So I don't hate it. If Jared Goff continues to play well, I'm open to him being the quarterback of the future, but fortunately we don't have to make that decision yet.
No, you're absolutely right, Sam Flannel. We will get more into it. We're going to talk about the NFC North matchups and just in general.
There's
talk
only
more.
one.
Yeah, I was going to say talk more about the only matchup, which is the Lions and the Vikings.
The other 2 are on a bye.
Yeah,
yes, this late in the season.
They
on
are
a bye.
They are indeed.
By
But
the way, almost 200 votes in on our poll.
Oh, here we
and
go.
it's 52-48 right now that he's a bridge quarterback. But there's plenty of time left. Let's go, guys. Keep getting those votes in. Is Jared Goff a bridge quarterback, or is he the Lions' future quarterback? Because that's what Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes told Ian Rappaport and our man Dave Burkett for the Free Press. So get your votes in.
We'll return. We'll discuss the poll and a lot more other things when we get back. But for right now, Woodward Sports, Detroit Lions pregame show here on the Woodward Sports Network. We'll see you after the break.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
good. What up, though? It's your boy Easy, and I'm downtown Detroit for the Minnesota Vikings versus Detroit Lions, and I'm with my man
Trevor Reese.
Trevor Reese. How nervous are you for your Vikings today?
You know what? Every game and every week is just a new adventure.
It's a wild season for you guys.
It's always a wild season for us. It was like that last year. It's like this year. You know, what was it? The stat that if we reverse the score of each game for like one touchdown, it'd be like 1-11.
So, like, yeah, are you confident in your team, or like, no, you come in closer if you want, Vinny?
You know what? It's 1 o'clock. It's Kirk Cousins. So, 1 o'clock with Kirk Cousins. We are confident for the game for that one at least.
Why are you lying right now?
You know what? We always have to have hope somehow, some way, right?
What's the biggest concern for playing the Lions today, though? Like what's the one thing, like, oh, we got to stop that guy or we're losing?
You know what? It's like Jared Goff has gotten a lot better. And then I think the big problem that's going to be is Aiden Hutchinson off the edge.
No Christian Darrisaw today.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that we don't have Christian Darrisaw. So I'm gonna think that we're gonna give a little bit of help to whoever is against Aiden Hutchinson off the edge. So he's a good guy. I'm a Michigan fan, University of Michigan fan, I should say. So
okay.
I've been following him. He's a pretty good guy.
I appreciate you tapping in, man. I hope you guys lose. All due respect.
Hey, Skull Vikings.
One pride, baby.
We're back. WoodwardSports.com. Detroit Lions pregame show brought to you by Swiss Insurance.
I can't believe Easy's standing.
I know.
How's he standing after last night's party?
Oh, those guys are the heavyweights are built different. I'm your host, Jeff Iafrate. Joined alongside me, Tom Mazawey from Ermanni and Edwards, with Maz in the chair, Booner, and in the audio booth, our guy, Sam Flannel. And in the TD booth, Kareem. Shout out to Kareem for helping us out on this wonderful Sunday. But I do want to get into a couple things regarding the Lions and Vikings. You saw the Vikings fan right there at Ford Field. Didn't sound the most confident. I feel like that's most Vikings fans right now. They're kind of like accepting they're the best team in the NFC North, but they're also weary of how their team's been performing. I was listening to, which is weird, just Vikings content, and I wanted to hear what, opposing fans think of their team. Yeah. And the big question they had is, are they frauds? That's the big thing, and even we discussed this all week here on Woodward Sports. How legit are the Minnesota Vikings? And Sam, I know you have feelings on this, and I love it. I actually agree with you for the most part. What do you think about the Vikings? Legitimate NFC contenders or frauds?
I think right now their resume shows that they are frauds. I told you that they have the worst plus-minus of any team that has 9 or more wins by far, at a whopping +10. The Lions is at -9, just for a frame of reference, and they have a way worse record 5 games back. They also have the worst pass defense statistically in the NFL, which that is not sustainable if you want to be a contending team. And also, and this is something that kind of shocked me personally, Kirk Cousins this year has his worst passer rating that he's had as a starter. And this team is 10-2. They found a way to sort of snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat many times, like they did against our Lions in Week 3. And they got a chance to play at Miami when Tua Tagovailoa was hurt. That game at Buffalo where all Josh Allen had to do was not fumble like on that quarterback sneak, and the Buffalo Bills win that game. Remember that right. New England game where Hunter Henry's touchdown was called back by that kind of ridiculous rule. They've gotten a lot of breaks. They've gotten a lot of things go their way. And I just think at this point of the season, they're a little bit fraudulent. Their losses are coming. Do you really think this team is going to be 15-2 or 14-3? Losses are coming, and they're ripe for a loss today.
And I think the best point you brought up was the point differential.
Yes.
And do you have that set? Do you remember it? Because
that's how you win close games.
Well, I know, but the stat Sam brought up on Big D was unbelievable.
Well, they got blown out twice. That's why.
But the games they've won, compared to like the good team, like we look at teams in the NFL, teams that have winning records, you compare them all, and the Vikings had the least, discrepancy of point differential.
I'll repeat it. The Buffalo Bills +124, the Chiefs +80, the Eagles +112, the Cowboys +127, the Vikings +10. And I know this is kind of anecdotal, but do good teams get blown out 40-3 to the Cowboys at home?
No.
I mean, I know that like that plus minus is kind of inflated by 2 sort of blowout losses, but I'm just saying they've gotten a lot of balls bounced their way this year. A lot of kind of gotten to play a Miami Dolphins team without Tua, and of course the Lions played them when Tua was back. Just they blew a game to the Bears They had them blown out. The Bears actually took the lead, and the Vikings came back in the end. And I understand a lot of that can go to situational football. Kevin O'Connell, I think, is a good coach. They've shown that they can win close games. But it also means that they're vulnerable. They're not going to be 14-3, 15-2. The Lions, this is the perfect time for them to just, put their foot on the Vikings' throat, win this game. You're favored. Go beat them, Detroit.
Yeah, and Maz, I don't think I've ever talked with you recently about that narrative about the Vikings. What are your thoughts on them? 10-2, are they frauds?
No, they're not frauds. They're a good team. They're a good team. They're well coached. They have a quarterback that's playing, some of his best football. They have a great running back. They have the best receiver in football. They got Patrick Peterson in the defensive backfield. I wouldn't call that team. I wouldn't call that team.
If this was 2016, I'd be terrified right now if you said Patrick Peterson. I really would.
He's almost as good still.
Yeah, he's playing well.
He's going to make the Pro Bowl or whatever the hell they call it now, the Pro Bowl competition or whatever. But what Sam brings up, numbers. It's numbers. Dallas is plus 120 something. That's because they beat the Colts by 50 points. You got to look at some of the games in the NFL. NFL margin of victory is 9 points this year. 9 points. And actually, that's what it's the lowest it's ever been. And if you ask me, I think it's probably less than that. I would think it's 6 points. Look at a team like the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
I mean, the Atlanta Falcons could have 10 wins. 10 wins. They lose close games. They're not as good or talented as the Vikings. Vikings are talented. They beat the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. I know Buffalo is not, the team that we thought they were going to be.
I know, absolutely.
But they're a terrific team. Don't discount them just because they play close games. I'm just saying, if I'm the Lions, I don't want to play a close game today. I want to play a game like they played against the Jags. That's just my thought.
And I think that's the perfect way to sum it up. You could give credit to the Vikings for winning close games. I think that NFL is the storyline is close games. You got to find a way to win in these one-possession games. The Vikings have continuously done that. But Booner, before we go to break, man, give me your thoughts on the Vikings. How legit are they?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the middle of both of these guys here. I think they're a good football team, but I don't think they're contenders. And I think 10-2, you look at that and you're like, oh, they're contenders. But to Sam's point, the three teams that they've played that are contenders in this league right now, the Eagles, they've lost. The Bills, they should have lost. And then the Cowboys when they got blown out. So outside of that, they've played just average teams. And teams that we've played were teams that you just should beat. And they've just won those games. They've won the games that they should win because they're a good football team. But they're not contenders at this point to me because every single challenge and contending team that they play, a playoff team that they play, they've lost to. And that's kind of where I turn on them is they're not going to me, they can't go win a Super Bowl. But they're a good football team.
Yeah.
So if we win today, we beat a good football team. But they're not like, I'm not scared of them whatsoever.
They're going to win the North.
Well, yeah. Well, 10-2. Yeah, they've
and the North
got
is.
that
I mean, winning the North this year.
Yeah,
the North is better than the South. Have you seen the South?
That's even worse.
Okay,
but those are like the two worst
Cam
divisions.
Newton comes out and says, "I'm better than everyone in the NFC South." Cam Newton
the
is
Lions,
still talking.
The Lions could win the South probably this year.
It wouldn't be a news cycle day without Cam Newton saying something.
You want to read the final? The final stats on the Jared Goff?
Hit me with it. What do we got?
The final stats on what do you think of Jared Goff? Do you think he's a bridge quarterback or do you think he's the Lions' future quarterback? Future quarterback comes in at 51%. Bridge quarterback comes in at 48%. Right. Over 350 votes were tabulated. Kareem shut it down. And it's almost 50-50.
And it's unlike Lions fans to live off recency bias. So I got to love it, man. I love Lions fans. I love the narrative behind Jared now. I mean, listen, he's got everyone's support.
What have we said about him?
Finally playing for a team that believes in him.
He's not fumbling.
No, he's not.
He's not throwing a lot of interceptions.
No, he's not.
He's holding on to the ball, taking care of the ball, getting the ball to his great receiving core.
But is he going
if he has any pocket presence at all, he'd be pretty damn good.
Is he going to do that for 4 straight years?
No, probably not.
Like, he in L.A. he struggled for a year. That's why they had to move on from him because they couldn't go win a Super Bowl. Do you want to win a Super Bowl, or are you content with just winning one playoff game? I'm at the point to where I'm like, we haven't won a playoff game, but look at the Chiefs. Look at these teams. I want to build a team that can go win a Super Bowl and contend. Jared Goff isn't that guy to do that for 4 years for you with the players that we have, the young guys that we have.
And to defend Jared a little bit, I hate that we're having this conversation because he's played so well.
Yeah,
he doesn't deserve to be, when's the next quarterback coming? Jared's playing well. He's your quarterback right now. He's your quarterback next year. And I really do believe you can win the NFC North with Jared Goff, with a complete team. Don't get me wrong, with a better defense, this offense staying the way it's played with Ben Johnson, with this offensive line. I do. Got a lot of confidence in Jared. But we're going to go to break. When we get back, we're going to discuss a little around the NFL, discuss the MVP race. And Maz has a graphic that is just fantastic. And you guys can play a game along with us to see who's your MVP, but we'll do that after the break. Woodward Sports, Detroit Lions, pregame show brought to you by Swiss Insurance. See you after the break.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries, what will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
It is week 14 in the NFL, and we are making the cut here at Lady Jane's World Headquarters in Birmingham, Michigan. The Lions in the hunt this late in the season for the first time in a long time, taking on the Vikings. Let's check in with guys getting their haircuts here about what they think about this game. All right, we got David here. David, you getting the old hot lather neck shave, or what's going on over here?
Oh, yeah, all the good stuff. All the good stuff.
Getting pampered.
$1 million for about $40. Why would I not? Why would I not?
Getting pampered for sure. Hey, let me ask you, Lions and Vikings, one of the biggest games at Ford Field. The excitement is high for these guys.
I'm pumped. It's going to be great.
You think they can win?
I think they have a shot.
Think they have a shot. We're going to do it, baby. All right, we got Zach just finishing up in the chair here. Zach, big game at Ford Field. Lions-Vikings rematch.
Huge game, potentially season changing in a positive direction. Maybe we make a playoff push if we can win this one.
Here we go. He said the P word, playoffs. Let's go. We got Sean here. Sean, one of our friends just said Lions and playoffs. Is this a possibility?
Ask me after Sunday's game. I think this is a big game.
A little wait and see approach.
I think so. But it's nice to be in the conversation.
Isn't it? They're in the hunt in that stadium on Sunday. Going to be rocking.
On the graphic.
They're on the graphic. Enjoy your haircut here, Lady Jane's. Guys, big week. It is going to be a lot of fun. Go Lions!
That's what it is right there.
We bring the tailgate to you guys. That's Morris.
Let's
the
go.
Man from downtown, man. You catch him all the time down at Eastern Market. Get on down there, support my man. He biked his way up here.
I'm ready to bite some
Birmingham.
kneecaps right now, man.
Isn't that cool?
You got me fired up.
Well, I love it,
I'm
man.
pumped for today, man.
I love
Where
it.
else do you get this type of show on a Detroit Lions pregame show? I mean, come on. We're back here, WoodwardSports.com, Detroit Lions pregame show. Jeff Iafrate, Tom Mazawey, Booner, and Sam Flannel. We got a lot to talk about, and I want to get into the MVP race because, Maz, and I'll let you take the lead on this one. You got a graphic you want to show us.
I do. This is from NFL.com. I'm going to put up a graphic for you guys watching at home. I want you guys to tell me who is your NFL MVP looking at these stats. Is it player A? Read those for me, Jeff.
Okay, player A, 2,900 passing yards, 600 rushing yards, 29 total touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 108 passer rating. Or player B, almost 3,500 passing yards, 224 rushing yards, 30 total touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 103 passer rating.
8 interceptions, okay.
Or player C, 3,800 passing yards, 283 rushing yards, 32 total touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 104.9 passer rating.
Right.
I wish I could see the records of their teams,
I was
too.
just going to say that.
Now we're going to go around the board here.
Because that's
Jeff,
important.
You lead us off. Who
Okay.
is your MVP, A, B, or C?
Well, I see one of the players, and you can throw it back up, Kareem, because I want to talk over it while I'm looking at it. You see one player leading all these other players in passing yards. He has more total touchdowns, a little more interceptions, has the second best passer rating. Man, I got to see these records. I'm going to be honest. I kind of know stats. I'm a stat guy, so I know player A. I don't want to spoil it, but I kind of know who it is.
Are you taking him?
No, I'm not.
Who are you taking?
Oh, I know my MVP, but I want to make sure I get it right. It's Patrick Mahomes. That's MVP. But is it too?
Let's go.
We'll go C.
All right, you got C. Booner, who
C.
you have?
As crazy as it sounds, the passing yards is down. I know who player A. I know who that is, and I think player A right now should win the MVP.
Okay.
I mean, you just look at it. The rushing yards, obviously, the touchdowns are down, the passing yards are down, but 3 interceptions, the passer rating, like. And I mean, I bet if we looked at his record, that he has a pretty solid record as well. So
there's a lot in the chat that are going A. There's a few.
Can we put a poll up?
Yeah, there's a few C's.
Poll would be good, but I do like A.
We'll do A, B, or C, Kareem. We'll put a poll up.
Go ahead, Sam. Your choice now.
I got to go with C. C's got the most passing yards, the most combined passing and rushing yards, the most touchdowns.
That
also
one's him.
tied for the most interceptions, but he also has a high passer rating. What this tells me about player C is that he has to do more for his team to be successful. He has high volume stats, but he's also efficient. He's also playing well when it comes to rating, stuff like that. So to me, you got to go C.
I got player A, and I'm telling you, I don't know it. But believe me, when I do these things, I don't cheat. I'm taking player A. I love the rushing yards as the difference here to me, and less interceptions.
And a higher passer rating.
And a higher passer rating. I like player A. All right. Let's look at the board. Who we got so far? There's a lot of A's. There's a lot of C's.
A and C.
There's no B's. No B's.
I'm curious to see who B is.
Let's put it up there, Kareem.
Josh Allen?
Let's put it up. Player A, player B, player
Joey
C.
Burrow.
Wow.
Okay, so my gut worked.
Nobody voted for Joe Burrow. No one voted for B.
No, Burrow, and I think he definitely is in the race as of right now. The Bengals are playing well.
I'm happy I took A because Jalen Hurts, to me, is the MVP.
I agree. I think Jalen Hurts he has been, especially the last 3 weeks, he has been the MVP. A lot of people have been on Patrick Mahomes, too, which you can argue that
he's MVP
easily.
every year.
Exactly.
We take him for granted almost.
Yeah, he's kind of like LeBron in the NBA right now.
That's
He's going to do that every single year, and you can give him MVP every year. But what Jalen Hurts is doing for this Eagles team right now, like 600 or however many rushing yards that was, the passer rating, he has been unbelievable, and that team has been extremely good, too.
He has... I hate debating the MVP race because I gotta knock somebody.
It's early yet.
I gotta knock somebody, and again, Jalen Hurts, he's playing phenomenal, and this isn't only because I said if Jalen Hurts wins MVP, I have a bet, on Woodward Sports. If you guys remember it, if you don't, I'm not going to bring it up. But anyway, that's
remind
topic.
Me.
No, I'm good.
No, remind me.
It's fine. If Jalen Hurts wins MVP, I might need to do something with my hair, but that's another conversation. No, we don't got to bring it up. Patrick Mahomes, I'll tell you why he's MVP. He has the storyline. Because what was the biggest thing coming into this year? No Tyreek Hill.
No receivers, yeah.
They picked him Most people picked him last in his own division. And he's first. So he has the storyline. He's the most important. I think when you look at players to their team, Jalen Hurts is extremely important. I'm not arguing that. It's why he's in the MVP race. But if you take Patrick Mahomes off the Chiefs, that's a top 3 pick.
Hey, but I thought
they're not winning anything. And again, for Patrick Mahomes, what he's had to do this year, Jalen Hurts is playing on the best roster in football. And I think that does hurt him. And he only has, 2 more wins than Mahomes? It's not like Mahomes is having a bet. I mean, they're winning games. So to me, it's Patrick Mahomes, but he's leading the league in passing yards. He's leading the league in passing touchdowns.
It's harder to win in the AFC this year.
And it is.
It is.
Great point, Mass. But Sam, what say you?
But I was told that Patrick Mahomes was going to fall off once he lost Tyreek Hill. I mean, that's a big part of it. He's had one of arguably the best year of his career so far, maybe besides his rookie season. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, to me, it's a two-man race. I would go with Patrick Mahomes. I hate the whole argument that you could give it to Patrick Mahomes every year. We kind of take him for granted. He's won the MVP one time. You guys are acting like he's won it like 3 or 4, like LeBron. He's won the MVP literally one time. So I don't think you can penalize him for that. I don't think there should be any Mahomes fatigue. But I will say this, Jalen Hurts is playing some damn good football. I never thought he would be this good. The Eagles have the best record in the league, but they also got Jalen Hurts a number 1 receiver in A.J. Brown. I don't want to knock him for that. I think that's helped him a lot. And you got Kelsey. And Kelsey is, to me, the greatest tight end who's ever played NFL football. But
he's up there.
They also lost Tyreek Hill, who you can argue is the best wide receiver in the NFL. Certainly a weapon that I don't think I've ever seen before him. So to me, it's a two-man race. I would give it to Patrick Mahomes just because you lose your best weapon.
And he's still first in all passing stats.
First all yards, touchdowns. His rating is good.
Go on, Booner, because you picked A.
I did pick A, and the reason I picked A is right now, if Jalen Hurts, because there's still, 4 or 5 weeks left of football to be played. There's so much left of this race. They're 1A and 1B right now, just neck and neck going for this MVP, the MVP. But if Jalen Hurts does what he's been doing the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's hard not to give it to him. And you can't knock him for that. And same with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, it's such a tight race to me. I'm with Sam, I'm with Maz, but my pick right now would be Team A based on the record, based on kind of Jalen Hurts has been doing it on his feet as well. Even if he's leading it in passing, Jalen Hurts is getting it done on the ground as well, and he's winning games for his team. He's been the most valuable player to me in the league so far, and if he does that for the next 4 weeks,
I think tough.
It's tough to not give it to him.
You want to laugh? The guy that no one voted for, Joe Burrow, he's the hottest quarterback in the NFL, if you ask me. He's got the Bengals playing at peak right now. But guess what? They play the Browns today, and we'll talk about that in our pick segment. Yep. They can't beat the Browns. He can't beat the Browns so far. So he better beat the Browns today if he wants to get in that. But Joe Burrow, man, that's Joe Cool.
Yeah, Joey Cool.
We're dissing Joe Burrow. We're not even talking about him. Without him, the Bengals are crap.
Yeah, and I think he's jumped Tua, no doubt. After the game last week, Tua had against the 49ers. I think it's those three are in the race.
How crazy is it that we're not talking about Josh Allen in the MVP race anymore?
Point.
Yeah,
I think that was like a lock going into the season.
I forgot about him.
Unapologetically, I picked him to win MVP this year, and I'm pretty self-aware to know the stretch he had with those turnovers. The Bills lost, to the Jets. They lost to Miami as well. I mean, they had some tough losses, which they probably should have won. They almost lost to the Lions. Josh Allen's in this funk. I know he's getting out of it slowly, but
he's got a bad elbow.
Yeah,
got a bad
elbow.
wing.
No question.
He's a quarterback with a bad elbow.
And his throwing arm.
Yeah.
And his throwing arm. Yeah. It's not looking good. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to start our pick. We're going to go around the NFL. We got our guy Booner here to give us the best bets, and we'll give our picks. But until then, thank you guys, every single one of you, for tuning in. WoodwardSports.com. This is the Detroit Lions pregame show brought to you by Swiss Insurance. We'll see you in a second.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Maddie Miller here with your Detroit Lions pregame report. The Lions are looking to clinch another win this week, this time against the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota has only lost 2 games so far this season, and they are determined to get another one here today to clinch the division title. Earlier this week, Dan Campbell said their record doesn't matter, how good they are doesn't matter, it's all about how the Lions prepare for this game. The confidence has been high all week in the locker room from both players and coaches. The Lions will see a familiar face on the opposing team in TJ Hawkinson. This is the first time he plays his former team since the Lions traded him to Minnesota. Jamison Williams is expected to get much more playing time than he was given last week, and we're also expected to see Romeo Okwara on the field today. As seen on the inactives report, Will Harris is out for today's game. He was listed as questionable on Friday with a hip injury. He's been placed on the inactives list along with Tom Kennedy for today's game. That's all I have for you right now. I'll keep you posted as more comes in.
Thank you, Maddie, for the update. Our Detroit Lions beat reporter. We're back. Detroit Lions pregame show on woodwardsports.com. Jeff Iafrate, Tom Mazawey, Booner, Sam, Flannel, and Kareem on the ones and twos.
See where she's hanging down there, right down by the bedrock? She's got the slide going on down there at the Midway.
A lot going on down at Midway. We were there in the summer. I was hooping down there with Braylon and the guys, man.
We're going to be doing a show from down there.
It'll be fun.
Three-point contest. I was ready for it.
Three-point contest, yeah. Listen, it wasn't Braylon's day, but I know he can shoot. He just wasn't shoot well during that three-point contest, but still, win's a win.
Ryan hit one, though.
Ryan was a difference. I mean, Ryan had that dad shot. He was cash money. He did. We're going to go around the league and do our pick-ems. We'll start a divisional game. Jets at Bills. Bills favored by 10. I'll start with you, Tom. What's your gut telling you?
My gut is telling me that the Jets are desperate for a win.
Mike White.
Mike White is my guy. I love him. If you remember last year I even called for Mike White. I told the Lions, go out and trade for this guy before they finally find out that he's good. I know a lot of people think he's just a fill-in kind of guy. He's a leader. The team loves him. If they only had Breece Hall, this team would have a couple more wins in their pocket already. Now, about the Buffalo Bills. They're home for the first time since that snowstorm. They came here to Ford Field, and matter of fact, they're the last team to win 2 games in a row here at Ford Field. The Lions can tie that finally today. Now, I have the Bills on my survivor pool. I'm down to the last 6 people. The Bills are my pick today to win, but the Jets are going to cover that 10. And I'm just going to be – it's killing me that I'm picking against the Jets. I don't have many great picks remaining on this. I like the Bills to win. A close game. Jets to cover.
Maz, this is why I love you, because I agree completely. Give me the Bills to win, but the Jets to cover, especially with how their game went last time they played. I think the Jets defensively have enough to at least slow down the Bills, but I just think quarterback play is going to be the difference. And Josh Allen, as much as I like Mike White, I believe if he throws for 300 yards today, it'll be like a rarity in Jets history. It'll be another achievement for him. So Mike White's been on a hot streak, but Booner, or I'll go to Sam, then we'll go to Booner last because he's the man of the hour. Sam Flannel, what's your gut telling you? Jets at Bills.
I got the Jets to cover. I think the Bills win by about between 3 to 7. The Jets have a couple things that are a non-negotiable. They have one of the best interior linemen in the NFL in Quinnen Williams, and Sauce Gardner is already one of the best corners in the NFL to me. And Josh Allen, as good as he still is, his elbow is always going to be a little bit bummed for the rest of the year. So to me, I don't see the Bills being able to blow out the Jets. I think the Jets keep it close, and I think Mike White, being quarterback besides Zach Wilson, he's the better guy. Give me the Jets to cover.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page here. The Jets, anytime, and Maz, I'm sure you can agree with me, anytime you see a double-digit dog in the NFL, you have to take them because there's
especially this year.
Yeah, there's just not that many blowouts. So I'm going with the Jets today. I think that defense just slows them down, and they really just settled the game down to where you're looking at like a 21-14 game, kind of 21-17, and the Bills pull it off. But the Jets cover. 10 points seems like way too much to me in this game.
Yeah, no, I think we're all on the same page. I think people would agree with you as well.
You know what that means, right? Bills blow them out.
Yeah, since we're all in lockstep, it's going to be the opposite. Moving on, Eagles at the New York Giants. The G-men, the Eagles are favored by 7. But this is interesting to me because the Giants, they're underdogs by a touchdown at home. And the Giants are getting healthier.
First time they played this year against the Eagles. They'll play another one in a couple of weeks in Philly. I got to take a home underdog, especially in a division game. I like the Giants to hang with the Eagles. I don't know if they could beat them. I hope they can. Well, for Lion fans, they don't want the Giants to win. But in my heart, I'm a Giant guy. You know that. But if they have to lose for the Lions, I'm okay with that. I'll take the Giants and the points. Eagles will probably eke out a win.
Yeah, no, I got the Eagles winning this one. I honestly, as much as the Giants, they tied last week, which was an absolute disaster, that game. I mean, how it ended especially. think the Eagles are going to win this. I could even see them covering, to be honest with you. I mean, the Eagles are they're locked in, and I think if Saquon does not play, which I don't think he is, it's 50-50.
He's active.
He is active.
Yep,
Okay, so yesterday I read in the news he was 50-50. He's active, but still a little banged up. Giants are going to have to be able to run the football, and the Eagles have been better at that with their two additions. And they do, and Matt Breida actually had a touchdown against us.
Yep.
So against the Detroit Lions. But what say you, Booner? I think the Eagles win and cover this 7 points.
I'm not on the Eagles. I'm on the Giants, and we all want the Giants to lose every single game from here on out. But like Matt said, underdog at home divisional game, you have to go there with the Giants in that spot. They're probably going to keep it close. Even just a divisional game in general, it's typically close. So to get 7 points at home there, I think Daniel Jones, they figure something out with Saquon. And the Eagles, I mean, as good of a team as I just sat up here and said they are with Jalen Hurts as the MVP, they still play some games close. And this seems like one of those games they're going to be playing close.
Yeah, I actually have the Eagles in this one. The Giants are one of those teams. I think they're not as good as their record indicates, and they're just one of those teams that just has been snake bitten by injuries all year. When Azeez Ojulari finally comes back, now Leonard Williams is out, Adoree Jackson is out. I don't think they have enough, and I think the Eagles are just on a mission. They're one of the best teams in the NFL, and this will be one of those games that is good for Jalen Hurts' MVP case.
Yeah, 100%.
He makes a statement.
100%. I'm with you, Sam. I'm going to move on. Browns and Bengals. You kind of alluded to this earlier, Maz, about Joe Burrow. Got to beat the Browns. If not now, when? And I think the Bengals do it. They're favored by 5.5. I think they cover that. And Deshaun Watson, he looked like he hasn't played football in 2 years. I mean, that's what we expect. He struggled last week against his former team. It wasn't Deshaun that won that game. It was just the Browns team in general, making plays, scoring touchdowns.
They only scored one offensive touchdown last week.
Absolutely. So in my opinion, Deshaun's first game with this rivalry, I don't think the Browns win this one. They blew them out earlier in the year with Jacoby. Give me the Bengals. I think they cover this at home, and they finally get revenge against the Browns.
This is a magic number. It's 5.5. I think bettors that really bet hard know 5.5 is a weird number. You take the underdog with the 5.5 all day and twice on Sunday. Give me the Browns today to win.
Maz, the line has moved too, just so you know. It's moved to 4.5. Depending on what book you're at, it's 4 and 4.5 right now.
Browns are going to win the game.
Oh,
I have the same exact. I think just like Matt said, when you see that 5.5 number, everyone knows that they probably have a good chance to win the game. It's just a weird number in Vegas. Everyone, I think, has that idea. And the fact that it's moved to 4.5, it kind of shows, I think, where sharps might be heading. I like the Browns to cover this game at 4. All of the public money seems to be on the Bengals. It seems like people think the Bengals are going to cover this game.
Yeah.
So I'm going Browns. I love the Browns here.
I actually have the Browns as well. I don't think that Deshaun Watson can play any worse than he did last week. I think he takes a step up. And the thing that we talk about Deshaun Watson and how he's coming back, the Browns still have Nick Chubb and Myles Garrett, two of the best players in the NFL, definitely arguably the best at their respective positions. And they've been balling out. And there's just something with the Browns when it comes to the Bengals. The Browns just seem to have their number. I think the Browns at least cover. I'm not going to say that they'll win, but it wouldn't surprise me at all. They cover.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the kryptonite, right? Getting after Joe Burrow, the Browns have been able to do that. But moving on, I guess I'm the lone one. I'm the black sheep in the room.
You might be the smart one.
We'll see.
The Bengals are the better team.
We'll see.
Hands down. They're the Super Bowl, runner-up.
But still, it's going to be a really good divisional game. In another divisional game, we go to the Jags at the Titans. Jags coming off a blowout loss on the road against the Lions. Titans coming off a loss as well. Titans, I think this is a get-right game for them, or it could be a get-right game for the Jags. So this is a tough one to me. I'm going to lean Titans. I think they're well coached. They're better coached, excuse me. They have the better player between the two teams and Derrick Henry. But what worries me, though, is that Titans secondary. So bad. Yeah. And I can see Trevor Lawrence tearing them up with Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, and company. So, again, tough game to call. It is on the road to the Titans. Give me Tennessee, though. I think they cover the 3.5.
I saw a stat this week that Tennessee is 12-1 against their division, the AFC South. That said, why is the spread only 3.5? I don't.
Because they're on the road.
I don't know. Titans are home.
Oh, you said,
Titans are home.
Yeah.
They're 12-1
That's
against
what I mean.
their division.
Jags are on the road. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this spread should be 7.
Right. Yeah.
They're first place. against last place. The spread should be 7. That's why I'm going to take the Jags at 3.5 because something smells in this game. That's the only reason that I'm taking the Jags in 3.5. Titans win by 1.
Oh, what about you, Booner?
Yeah, I think it's weird because it's a get-right game for both teams. Like, the Titans have been struggling a little bit. I do like the Jags more of a get-right, the fact they just got blown out in Detroit. I do really love the over in this game, though, which is crazy to think with the Titans and their defense. But this Jags team they give up the last 7 games. I saw a stat. They're giving up almost 30 points a game in their last 7 games. So I still think that the Jags are going to put points up and keep it close here. I think they have a potential to win this game in Tennessee today.
All right, we're going to move on. Ravens at the Steelers.
Wait, Sam didn't pick.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sam.
No,
that's my fault. Who do you got?
That is all right. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars winning this game over the Titans.
Wow.
I think Trevor Lawrence bounces back. He's got Christian Kirk, Zay Jones. He's got some weapons.
Feeling it.
And also, the Titans, I think they're an offense that the Jacksonville Jaguars can do better against. Ryan Tannehill, I don't believe in him. They just got to make sure Derrick Henry doesn't go off. I don't think he will. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars to get right and win this game.
No, I like it, Sam. And it's a hard one to call, but I'm going to lean Titans, and I think you as well and Booner, you're going Titans?
No, I took Jags.
Oh, you're taking Jags
I think the
on the
Jags
points.
as well could win the game.
Okay, so
We're 3-1 against you again.
And the over.
I love it. I love
The
it.
over. What is the over?
Ravens.
It's around 42, I believe it was, the last that I saw. But I like it. Like I was saying, the Jags give up a ton of points. I think the offense will stick with the Titans, so a lot of points.
We're going to move on. Ravens at the Steelers. Kenny Pickett hasn't been turning the ball over. Steelers look a little better than they've looked early in the season with their rookie quarterback. They're favored by 2 points.
Rebuild.
2 points. It's a weird number
Yeah, it is.
against the backup quarterback, Tyler Huntley, for the Ravens. I'm going to be honest with you. On the road, why do I want to choose the Ravens so bad? But I'm going to go Steelers. I'm flopping on you. Give me the Steelers to win this game. I think Kenny Pickett, assuming he keeps, doesn't turn the ball over. The way the Ravens won last week, how emotional that win was, and winning at the last second, I do think this is the time you're taking L here. Pittsburgh, they got T.J. Watt back. We know what he can do. Micah Fitzpatrick, they got a defense. They don't have a great O-line, but they have a defense, and I think they can get this win here. Najee, they got playmakers, George Pickens. So give me the Steelers to beat the Ravens here.
I hate going against you again, Jeff.
It's okay.
But I'm going against you. Ravens and Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley, the way Lamar Jackson's played this year, I'm going to say this year, Tyler Huntley will play better than Lamar Jackson has played this year. I like Tyler Huntley. Give me the Ravens to win that game, going away.
What about you, Sam?
I got to go with the Steelers, also because of Tyler Huntley. I think that getting to face Tyler Huntley is an easier job than Lamar Jackson, and I love the Steelers' defensive personnel. I don't believe in Kenny Pickett. I don't love Najee Harris, but their defense with T.J. Watt back, Hayward, Highsmith, they're going to get after the Ravens. Give me the Steelers.
What about you, Booner?
Yeah, we're going 3-1 against Maz here. I'm going Steelers in this one. Kenny Pickett's starting to grow on me a little bit. Mike Tomlin, I trust him at home. I trust him. It's a 2-point spread. I think I saw it at 1.5 at a point. So I'm going Steelers in this spot. I think they get it done here. They win by a field goal at least.
And then we got next the Bucs visiting the San Francisco 49ers and Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
No Jimmy G. He might be back in the postseason, but Brock Purdy, the young Buck, same age as me, by the way, starting in the NFL, making plays.
22 years old.
Yep, 22 years old. And
Tom Brady's played 23 years, and he's going against him.
I think his debut was when Brock was 1. I believe that was the storyline. It's crazy to say, but the 49ers are favored by 3.5. The 49ers have the best defense in the NFL. This is where it's tough for me because I think offensively, I can see the Bucs. You're comparing offenses. I'll take the Bucs right now with Brock Purdy at quarterback. But defensively, it's a tough one to call. Give me the Bucs though on the road. I don't know. I don't know why it's a feeling. Tom Brady, you're facing a defense like the 49ers. I think this will be a grimy game. Maybe they win 17-14, 20-16, whatever it is. Give me the Bucs to win this one. And I know that sounds crazy because the Bucs have no offense, but still, I'm going with the GOAT. I'm going with
What's
TB12.
the over-under on this game?
It's sitting at 38.
Best bet of the day. Bet the under in this game. Bucs and 49ers going under in this game. This game might go to overtime and still be under. And I'll take the Bucs to cover that number against my pick
Yeah.
for the Super Bowl. I hate picking against the Niners. The only reason I'm doing it is because Jimmy G is not playing. I'll take the Bucks to cover that 3.5.
What say you?
I've got the Bucks as well, and for 2 words, the Brady luck. Things just always seem to go his way. His defense is going to hold the San Francisco 49ers to like 14 or 17. A Brock Purdy-led 49ers because, of course. And Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will have a chance to win it in the end. And they either will or they won't, but they'll at least have that opportunity. Give me the Bucks for today.
I'm rolling with the Bucks as well. Plus 160 money line. I love that. I think they win this game. This is that point of the season. Tom Brady's starting to turn. And he's starting to make, like Sam said, the luck, but it's not luck because it's Tom Brady, and he has some luck, yes, but it's Tom Brady. He goes and makes some plays like he did in the final drive there last Sunday.
Yep.
Don't go out of bounds, Mark Ingram, for the love of God.
But when Tom got the ball back, he went and made the play and won the game. So
catch the ball, Taysom Hill, for the love of God.
That is Tom
Don't go
Brady.
out of bounds. What's it, Mark Ingram? Get the first down.
Just get the first down. Put your head down and get the first down, and it's null and void. Oh, I hate that guy.
Tom still gets the ball and he still goes and wins the game. You can't take that. That's not luck. That's
Pass
just
interference.
Tom Brady.
Pass interference.
So I'm taking Tom Brady today plus 160 versus the 49ers. With Brock Purdy, I think it was a cool story, and I think he actually might be kind of decent for this 49ers team.
Yep.
But I just don't see him being able to do enough with the 2 defenses. Like, Tom's going to end up winning this game today.
Just think if they got Baker Mayfield instead of the Rams. That's all I got to say.
Hey, we don't got to get into that conversation. Hey,
Why not?
congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I got to give Maz his props here.
I didn't want him to win, but I knew he would do well.
Yeah, no, you did. I think
He went out on a high note.
You were
for
one of
his
the only
career.
ones, Maz. We're going to go to break. WoodwardSports.com. These
He'll
are
be
Lions
their
pregame show
he'll be their
brought to you
quarterback next year.
by Swiss Insurance. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to finish up this slate of NFL games, but we'll see you in a second.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Market, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Hey, it's Stick live at the Cuervo Zone, Brass Rail, downtown Detroit. Lions taking on the Purple People Eaters of the Vikings. What's your name, sir?
My name's Mike.
Where are you from?
I'm from actually Columbus, Ohio.
Of all places you could, I already didn't like you because of the jersey, and then you got to mention that?
And I'm a Buckeye fan.
What is going on?
I don't know what to tell you, brother.
Well, you're about to have another rough week, buddy. That's all I know.
I do know that. Well, Buckeyes maybe, but Vikings, I don't know, man.
Yeah, how do you feel about being the first 10-win team as the underdog in the Super Bowl era against a 5-win team?
Well, that's the bad thing. We don't know what's going to come out. We don't know how Cousins is going to play. You know, the guy gets frustrated. He tends to throw picks. That's my concern with Cousins, right?
Yeah. But the first game, you guys feel like you got away with one, or you feel like you earned that win?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of parity in the NFL, so I think we earned it, yeah.
You earned it. All right. What do you expect the score to be today, man?
I'm going to say 24-21 Vikings win.
Vikings win?
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a game at Ford Field?
I have. Last year we lost. So.
Yeah, well, hey, welcome back. No, thank you for coming down. Enjoy the game. Hopefully I see you here for the post party, too. Either way, we'll do some shots, right?
All right, sounds good. I'm here.
All right, we're live at the Brass Rail. Back to you guys. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
There you have it. That is Stick checking in from the Cuervo Zone at Brass Rail, which you can go check out if you're near Ford Field. But for right now, we're in the studio. Jeff Iafrate, Tom Mazawey, Booner, Sam Flannel, and Kareem on the ones and twos. We still got a lot of show left. We're going to finish up these picks And I want to get back to Stick because he's still interviewing people out there. Vikings fans. I love hearing their perspective, too. Vikings fan picking a close game. What a surprise.
Yeah, what a surprise. It's the only way to how to win.
Yeah.
It better be close for them.
No question. But we're going to finish up these picks. We'll leave off where we were with the Dolphins visiting the Chargers in L.A. Chargers 3.5-point underdogs at home. But the difference is, though, at home in LA, is it really at home, Maz?
No, they get to dress in their locker room. They get to sleep in their own bed. But as far as fans go, let's face it, they left their fans in San Diego, and that's where this team belongs. The Dolphins, I like them to bounce back today, but I will never bet against a home underdog on a night game. This game got flexed to Sunday Night Football. Chargers love playing on Sunday Night Football. I'll take the Chargers with the points. I'm not sure if they're going to win. I know it's only 3.5, but I think this is going to be a hell of a game. But give me the Chargers. Give me San Diego to cover.
This one's tough for me to call because I really do. Even though the Chargers have struggled, and I don't really know the future of Brandon Staley if he'll be here after this year, but I love Justin Herbert, and I love what they got offensively. Defensively, they've struggled. I'm going to roll with the Dolphins here, but I'm with you, Maz. I can see the Chargers covering this one. What say you, Mr. Sam Flannel?
The Chargers win this game big. The disrespect to Justin Herbert, come on now.
The disrespect to the Dolphins, Sam.
No, I'm not disrespecting the Dolphins.
He said win big.
They're at home. Miami's going all the way from across the freaking country. The Chargers win this game. They're a good team. They have some injuries, I know, but I still think they're good enough to win this game. The fact that they're underdogs is insane to me. This is the easiest bet of the day. Give me the Chargers.
Dolphins, that's right. They went, to San Francisco last week.
Oh, they might have
lost.
Lost, yeah.
Then go home, and now they're coming back to the coast again. Good point there, Sammy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they ain't facing a defense like the 49ers. Am I right, Booner?
Yeah, but I'm sorry, Jeff, but I'm with Sam here. I think the Chargers win this game. I love, if I'm getting a field goal with the Chargers in this game, I think they get that done. I think even if it's a 2-point game and they lose, I think the Chargers and Justin Herbert, they find a way to stay in this game, if not win it. So that's one of my favorite bets, too. If you go to woodwardsports.com on my best bet segment, I have them in there, Chargers plus 3.5 Sunday night.
And they love Sunday Night Football, man. They love it. This is their third round this year than last year. Remember what they did a couple of times? We played the Raiders last game of the year in that one. Watch out, man. Chargers love.
You might see them go for a
Chargers
conversion to win the game as well.
Yeah, you might.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers won. I think they're still a pretty good football team. We're going to skip this next pick. I mean, we'll go around quickly. Texans at Cowboys.
We gotta go quick.
I mean, the Cowboys are going to decimate them. I mean, what do we got here?
Don't
what do we got here?
The Texans.
They got Davis. It's so bad they called back Davis Mills, man. They called him back from being back up to Kyle Allen.
I'm going to take the Houston Texans to cover the 17 points in this game.
All right,
Dallas wins, of course. That's my pick.
All right, pretty simple.
This bet is in my best bets on the website as well. Is the Houston Texans plus 17.5. I mean, a blowout's hard to come by in the NFL. We saw with the Lions last week. I don't think the Cowboys do it today to the Texans. I think they find a way.
Sam, is it an ass whooping? Be honest with me.
It's an absolute ass whooping. The Texans are dead. They're the worst team in the NFL, and Micah Parsons will make Davis Mills cry by the end of the game. Cowboys by at least 24.
That's why I love Sam, man.
I wish I had Davis Mills' neck, though. I don't have a neck. Davis Mills has that extra long neck. I would love to have his neck.
Well, the ladies love it, don't they?
The Texans have only lost one time by more than 15, and that was to the Raiders. Every other game, they're within 10 points, 15. Like, they're right there, so I think they cover.
And the Cowboys get Tyron Smith back, so that's big news.
He'll get you to 18.
I want to see the Pollard boys do well, and I want to see Zeke run well, too, because I start both Zeke and Tony Pollard in my backfield on one of my teams.
You're ready to eat today.
I'm ready for them to go for 150 each.
Moving on, Chiefs. My MVP is taking on the Broncos, who can't score a point to save their life. Wow. One of the worst offensive teams. I believe if the Broncos, there's a stat. In history. If there's a stat, if the Broncos scored like 20 points per game or whatever it is, they'd have like 8-9 wins.
Correct.
So the Broncos are one of the most confusing things to solve this year, but clearly, give me the Chiefs. I know they're up 9.5. They're going to the Broncos. I know home dogs in the NFL is something that it kind of intrigues you, but Booner or Maz, I think to look at the Broncos, I have no reason to be confident in them. So I'm going with the Chiefs. I think they cover
I will never pick the Denver Broncos. Never. Not even on Christmas Day.
Never.
Will I pick the Denver Broncos.
Never, ever.
Give me the Chiefs to win by 2 touchdowns. Keep it close. Take it easy on them.
Hey, Patrick Mahomes is your guy, Sam. What do you think?
He is, and the Broncos have one of the worst offenses I've ever witnessed in my entire life. I don't think they'll score 10. I think the Broncos will be able to get some stops, but the Chiefs will win something like 20 or 21-7. Give me the Chiefs to cover and win.
Yeah, I'm on the Chiefs as well. I do really love the under in this game, just the fact that I think the Broncos are averaging like 13 points a game.
Yeah.
And I don't think, like Sam said, I don't think they get over 10.
What's the number?
I believe it's at 42. Let me get.
Okay.
I want to get an exact number.
Sounds
It's at
about right.
44 actually.
44.
So I
Went
thought
up.
that was a little too high. That was on my best bets as well. As I think the Chiefs could score 30 plus in this game, and you still hit the under because the Broncos might not even get past 10.
I don't think the Chiefs will score that high. I think they'll win like 24 to 6.
Yeah,
that's my
and then
my
the Broncos' defense isn't that bad either.
No.
Right.
So I do think that they'll keep it a low-scoring game. That's why I love the under.
Yeah, we're all on the same page here. Last game, Carolina travels to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Seahawks favored by 3.5. Sam Darnold back at the helm.
How is this spread only 3.5?
It's a great question. Carolina, I think they have talent still defensively, but offensively, you've seen one game with Sam Darnold. They beat the Broncos, and then now they're being crowned as, I still think Seattle covers here. They're at home. I like Seattle a lot. I love what they've been able to do this year with Geno Smith. I think Kenneth Walker, they don't have any running backs. They don't have their starter or Kenneth Walker. They're going to third and fourth strings here.
That's the problem.
That's
why it's low.
That's the issue. But give me the Seahawks. I think they find a way to win. They're better. They have a better coach. I think they have a better team. Now defensively, I think Carolina has the better defense. But give me Seattle. I think they squeak out of here with a win. What about you?
I like Seattle to cover at home today too. 12th man. I don't even think you'll need them. I think they could beat Carolina handily. DK Metcalf was injured, and I hope he's up to at least 90% in this game. But I like Geno Smith's story. Keep it going, Geno.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah, I got the Seahawks as well. That's another one that's weird. It's only 3.5. The Seahawks, they need wins. They're in a playoff race. And yet the Carolina Panthers, they have some decent defensive personnel, but I don't expect Sam Darnold to go on the road and beat the Seattle Seahawks or even keep it close. Give me the Seahawks. They got to have this game.
Yeah, clean sweep. I'm going the Seahawks as well. If it was a road game in Carolina, I might go with the Panthers, but being at home, I think Seattle wins this game by a touchdown plus in here. I don't think Sam Darnold will do much today, and I think Geno, he's been playing great. I think he continues to do that.
Well, there you have it. There's our game picks for the week 14 in the NFL. We're going to go to break. When we come back, I want to show another Stick interview because they're always great. He's talking to people down at Brass Rail, and then we're going to give our game predictions for the Lions and Vikings game. But before that, thank you guys, every single one of you, for tuning in, supporting, like the video. Check out our website, articles, merchandise. It has it all. Go check out woodwardsports.com.
Great Christmas presents.
Great Christmas presents.
My kid asked for the black pullover, my daughter, with the pink Woodward Sports logo on it.
Oh,
so,
even for the ladies, babies,
nice?
There's baby stuff.
Yep.
I mean, you can get anything. So go check it out. This is the Detroit Lions pregame show brought to you by Swiss Insurance. See you after the break.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We are live at the Cuervo Zone, downtown Detroit, Brass Rail. My name is Stick. What's your name, man?
Nick.
Where are you from?
White Lake.
White Lake, nice. You had a little bit of a drive this morning.
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
You going to the game?
Yes, we are.
What do you expect to happen today, man?
I'm looking for a Lions 32-23 victory.
Oh, you coming out with the score already, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Who's going to have a big game? Do you trust Jared Goff? Spence is not a big Jared Goff guy. I love Jared Goff. What do you think of Jared Goff?
I think Jared Goff's playing really well right now. He's a middle-of-the-road quarterback, but he's doing enough to win the game. He's not turning the ball over, and I like it.
Yeah, I don't need him to win the game. I just need him not to lose it, right?
Game manager.
Jamison Williams coming out the garage tonight, man. They kind of dusted off the wheels last game. I'm expecting to see a lot out of him today. What are you expecting?
I don't know. I think they might probably use him as a decoy again. Hopefully he'll get some targets, maybe 5 or 6, but we'll see.
You see they were going to use him on the punt team as a gunner?
No, I don't like that.
No, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Why would you do that?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you why they put a guy like that out on his gunner. Couldn't tell you.
No, you don't put your Corvette out there to go shoot punts. That's just not the way it works.
Not especially after coming off of a hamstring injury, or ACL injury. I mean.
Well, you say you watch Woodward Sports all the time, man?
I do.
Who's your favorite? You can be honest.
Adam.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of a punk, but I like him.
That is the perfect way to describe Adam. Kind of a punk, but I like him. Well, enjoy the game, man. Thanks for stopping by the Brass Rail. Back to you guys in the studio.
Let's go!
That's NFL Films right there. That's NFL Films.
Yes, sir.
That's Loris. They call him the man down at Eastern Market. Get down there, support them, support all our friends at Eastern Market. Lions and Vikings coming up. That's our own tailgate here, Jeff.
He absolutely killed it. He
sir.
did, man. Got to appreciate it. It's getting me excited for the game. And we're going to give our game predictions. We're going to get into it all. And by the way, shout out to that man. His favorite person at Woodward Sports, Adam Van So thank you for supporting. Thank you guys all for supporting, watching, and tuning into the show. But I do want to get onto this last segment, discuss the matchup individually, but look at really how much of or big of a game this is for Dan Campbell and what this means for him.
Got to bounce back.
Absolutely. You start 1-6. You string off 4 out of the last 5 games. They look way better. Coaching looks a lot cleaner. Really, ever since the firing, I'll be pleasant. But here's a clip of Dan discussing really the importance of this game this weekend or today.
Okay.
We don't have the clip.
That's
but
okay.
It's basically Dan discussing just the matchup in general, how much this means. And again, looking at really the matchup you're looking at for me personally is this passing attack facing this Viking secondary. Because what they've shown us all year is they'll give up yards. They gave up, over 300 to Mike White last week. Yeah. Especially.
Jets should have won that game.
Yes.
Twice inside the 10-yard line at the end of that game, and they couldn't get it in.
Yes, they should have. And really, this Vikings defense has been more bend, don't break. They've won a lot of close games. We know what this Vikings offense can do, but their defense certainly isn't anything special, especially their secondary. But for me, my game predictions, I think missing Darisaw, missing Harrison Smith are significant players for Minnesota. They really are. Like I said, a bad secondary. You're missing your ball hawk safety in Harrison Smith, and for an offensive line, which looking at the matchup they have with Aiden, like I said, James Houston on certain passing downs, Josh Pascal, Romeo Okwara, seeing snaps, John Kaminsky, that's going to be a big loss for them not having Darisaw there. So they're going to need to protect Kirk, especially if they struggle to run the ball and you find Kirk Cousins dropping back a lot. I mean, they're going to need protection. I think that matters. So give me the Lions. I think it's a high-scoring game. I think both defenses are going to be bend, don't break. They're not going to be shut down. I don't think you see a performance like you did last week. Maybe you do, but I don't think you do. Give me the Lions winning 31-27. I think it's a close game.
Nice.
The Lions squeak out with a victory. They score 30-plus. I do believe that. They're at home. They play better at home. And the defense just makes timely plays, and they're able to keep them out the end zone. But give me the Lions in a close one, Maz.
Hey, I like 65,000 screaming Lion fans packing Ford Field today. I cannot wait to see this game. Wish I was there. But go get them, Lions. 65,000 plus. Lions, Vikings, you owe this team something. You're going to pay them back today. Lions 31, Vikings 20. That's my pick. I still think Justin Jefferson will be shut down again today by Jeff Okudah. And I love DeAndre Swift to get loose for over 100 yards combined rushing and receiving. Jared Goff throwing 3 touchdown passes, 1 to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Who knows? J-Mo might get his first touchdown this game. I love the Lions in this game to throttle the Vikings from the get-go to the end. 30-21, and I won't even be that close. Go ahead there, Boone.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all are pretty spot on. And like I said at the beginning of the show, this is Dan Campbell's kind of redemption versus the Vikings. This was the game he was most criticized to start the season when he had all of those issues in that first Vikings game. They came out, the Lions came out, they were the better team on the field and should have won that game. I think this team knows that, and they're going to come out extremely hot, and they want to destroy this Vikings team, in my opinion. The Ford Field is going to be it's going to be booming. So I'm excited to see this. Originally, I had 31-27 written down, so I don't want to take yours, Jeff.
No, go.
So I'm going to go 34-27. I think they get an extra field goal in there. I think they win by probably about a touchdown. And like I said, there's going to be a situation in the last 5 minutes where we're going to see a situation where Dan Campbell's going to have to make some sort of decision that's going to make or break this game.
I hope not.
And it's going to, he's going to do it, and he's going to make the right decision. We're going to win by a touchdown today, 34-27. I think Dan Campbell and this team gets it done in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, I think the Lions win this one big, something like 34 I'll give it 34-21, and I think it's one of those where they'll be wire to wire, clearly the better team. I think that the Lions will be able to throw it all over the Vikings. They'll be able to, the offensive line will be able to protect against guys like Danielle Hunter and Zadarius Smith, and that Vikings secondary, which is missing their Pro Bowl safety Harrison Smith. Who's going to stop Amon-Ra St. Brown? I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to have something like 11 catches for 134 yards and a touchdown or two. DJ Chark is going to get some targets. He's going to continue on what he did last week. Jamison Williams might get involved. Josh Reynolds. I think Jared Goff has one of his best games as a Lion. And I think with Christian Darrisaw being out, look for Aiden Hutchinson to really have a statement game to put himself in the lead for the Defensive Rookie of the Year and maybe get a sack or two. And maybe look for something from James Houston. And also another quick prediction. With the Vikings, they're going to look to maybe throw the ball a lot, being down. Kirby Joseph picks one off.
All right. I like that,
that would be ideal. Kirby Joseph getting a pick. I think that would help out tremendously.
I did look at the beginning of the week, a Lions defensive touchdown. I think it was at like plus 500. I might sprinkle that. I think there's just, with the crowd, I think there's going to be something, a pick six. I just have a feeling, like a fumble picked up for a touch. I have a feeling, plus 500, though, I kind of like that. A Detroit Lions defensive touchdown.
By the way, we're brought to you by Swiss Insurance. Guess who's singing the national anthem today? None other than Oxford High School's Ava Swiss. That's right. Mark Swiss's daughter, Ava, she was on America's Got Talent, went a couple of rounds there. Kid's talented. She'll be on the mic today in just a couple of minutes from now singing the national anthem. So Ava's going to bring them some luck today. Go Lions, man. Just get the lead. Don't let Minnesota have that lead.
No, that's the biggest thing right here is can the Lions get up early and can their defense play as well as they've been played over the last stretch of games. And I think with those things combined, they'll have a victory today. But I want to say thank you to every single one of you who have tuned in, watched throughout the pregame show from Jeff Iafrate,
Thanks
Tom
for the love,
Mazawey.
guys.
Yeah, absolutely. From Booner, Sam Flannel, Kareem, and even our guy for stopping in, Mans, who came in and crushed it, bringing us the hype music, getting me all ready for this game today.
Go down there and see Loris down at Eastern Market.
Check him out.
Check him out.
Go check him out. Support him, man. He does a great job. But for us here at the studio from WoodwardSports.com, this is the Detroit Lions pregame show on Woodward Sports Network. Detroit Lions take on the Minnesota Vikings. We'll see what happens. But until next week, we'll see you then.